All right, it's time for the SMX medical update. We bring on Dr. Joe McGinley from the McGinley Clinic. We're going to talk about Hunter Lawrence in just 2 weeks, turning a big crash and a sore, sprained wrist, and then a win in 14 days. And he said it was a lot about the therapy. Both he and his team manager, Joe Lars Lindstrom, mentioned hyperbaric chamber and red light therapy, amongst other things. So if fans heard that, tell them what that means.
Yeah, it's great to see. It's great to see the quick recovery and not only the recovery, but the competitiveness coming back from the injury. This area of medicine is growing exponentially at this point. We've talked about it several times, how this works into the healing and recovery process. So previously, injuries that would take weeks, if not months, to recover from, we're seeing riders come back in just a short period of time and being competitive at the same time. So the way all this works together, this works a little bit along the same lines as the cell therapies we're using. This is minimally invasive. This is using your body's own natural healing response to facilitate repair of tissue. So a very good analogy here is if you have a bridge that needs repair, right? There's a whole bunch of components that go into that. You need the workers. Think of that as your cells, your stem cells, the PRP. They're the ones actually doing the work. But it has to be a good day. It has to be, can't be bad weather. So that's the light therapy. That's some of the other stuff coming in. And then you get into the hyperbaric, that's the fuel. You have to have that lunch break and you got to have that fuel to get it done. So all these things work together to facilitate that repair and getting things fixed. So this is just tip of the iceberg. There's wearable ultrasounds, there's 10 units, there's bone stimulators for fractures, there's laser therapy, all type of stuff. And a lot of times you're seeing this being used by the physical therapists, the physios, the chiropractors, and it augments some of the more invasive treatments that can be done to help with healing. So whether they've had a surgery, an injection, or anything else, these type of therapies do help. And the hyperbaric's a big one. That's the one that's applying the fuel. We're using that at club with the riders to get them back out there, and we're seeing amazing results on the healing side.
Yeah, I've used hyperbaric quite a bit through knee injuries and trying to speed up that recovery. And we've talked about it on this show. But I think for a lot of people, the red light therapy is a little bit newer. It's a little bit less known out there. Can you speak to just the science of what that's trying to accomplish?
Yeah, it's still earlier phase. So there's different products in this particular category, but in the end, it's facilitating your body's response to the injury. So it's stimulating blood flow, it's stimulating cells to that area to induce recovery that would normally occur. It's just accelerating it. So it's not the only product in this category. So red light's one of them. There's laser therapy, there's ultrasound therapy, there's shockwave or sound therapy as well. All of them work along the similar concept and pathway of initiating your body's cellular response to injury and accelerating the recovery time, oftentimes by several weeks. So it's not just the light therapy that's helpful, it's in conjunction with everything else that makes this successful.
You mentioned exercising over the weekend. What particular sport were you indulging in over the weekend, Joe?
I think I did all of them, but I wrapped it up with some getting on the bike and getting back out there. We had beautiful weather here in Wyoming, so I have a 450, so I went out riding, was doing some hill climbings, doing some jumps, hitting the doubles. No injuries, which is great. So, but I was a bit sore, so that's where I got my wearable ultrasound, and I threw that on. Monday morning, I was a little bit sore. I knew I was out there, and it was nice. It was beautiful. It was great to get out there. Great to get out there riding.
Love to hear it. Love that you got some throttle therapy, as they call it. We'll talk to you next week, Joe.
Thank you.